somewhere far away, bro. And they were offering me to Lucifer in this moment. They were defiling me, bro. And then I saw the real demon that they were summoning, and it was this massive spirit over the whole house. And its arm came in, and it was like, the best way I can describe it was each one of those characters that were doing things to me was like a finger. Like, that's how gnarly these demons are. They're so wise. They're very smart. They have a really serious case of multiple personality disorder, and they can just create. Like, dude, I had relationships with these spirits. I had handshakes with these spirits. I had memories with each one of them. Every time I was around different ones, they smelt differently. They tasted differently. They felt differently. One would tell me certain jokes that I loved them. I was infatuated. I don't know about men who understand what it is to be married for 10 years and then all of a sudden there's a really cute girl at work and they get this infatuation. They can't stop thinking about her. That is what I had with the devil times like 1,000. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I was consumed, and every day got more exciting. Every day, and I was just chewing my way into the pit of hell, dude. I was gonna burn in hell for forever, without a doubt, if the Lord didn't save me. So the devil puts this on my neck, okay?
So when you say he puts it on your neck, what do you mean?
He gives me the idea, and then gives me this motivation to just hurry up and go get it tattooed. And I knew I needed it quickly.
And you knew the image, what it would look like.
And yeah, he told me what it was. He said, get the lotus flower. I was gonna do it purple, but I'm not doing it. We'll get to that. And then the wings, and then it was like a quick thing. Like I got the idea. I went to the tattoo artist, gave it to him, and 2 days later we were doing it, and it was just so quick. Looking back, I can see the urgency. This demon wanted me to get it before I came to my senses. He was just like, hurry up and go get this. And I felt like I needed it. Even my wife was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, the Lord wants me to get this tattoo. When my wife comes around, maybe we'll come to another one with you. I looked her dead in the eyes. Jesus wants me to get this tattoo. I was convinced of it, dude. She didn't know. I used to say that to her. The Lord's blood turns me on, and I'd see her face turn white, and she'd be like, and in my eyes, I was like, why are you evil?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, why are you rejecting the Lord, dude? Like, why when I talk about my relationship with Jesus, are you getting sick? I could see it, bro. Let's talk about how the devil exalts an image through a man.
Okay.
And so when you worship, praise, sing along to, love, idolize a man that the image of the principality or the demon has been exalted through, the way that devil actually takes that as worship of himself. So I didn't have the neck tattoo. Now I got it. I didn't have the hand tattoo. Now I got it. Okay. He would kind of tell me about the certain women who were going to be at the mall that day. And he said, you need to dress like this. So I would go get the right clothes. So now he's got my tattoos. He's got my hair done the way he wants it. He's got the clothes. Dude, it's clothes I would never wear. Like, this is me right here. Like, you ask people who know, I've always been long socks. This is me, right? But I'd be wearing like knee-high shorts with like basketball shoes and tank tops, bro. Like, not me at all. But I knew there was women at the mall who were going to die for it that day. So the moment that I go talk to these girls and they have their hand in my hand and they're trying to follow me out to my car, that devil, I felt it. He was like, okay, she worships me through you, because it wasn't me. It was in an image that the devil made of himself through me. So when she's lusting after me, it accepted it as worship. And if it's accepting it as worship, so does God. You know what I'm saying? If God looks down, if the devil is accepting it as worship of himself, God is looking down going, yep, you're worshiping the devil. You know what I'm saying? Because Satan doesn't want it unless God sees it that way,
That makes me also think and realize when God decided to make man in his image, it wasn't as simple as we thought it was, because the enemy he just tries to replicate and imitate. It was a divine providence thing, because in the way that we live, and we were just talking about this earlier today, and we love with the character of God, people can literally experience God through us.
Exactly.
Literally, if we operate in a way that misrepresents God, it is like literally, it's defilement. It's like, it's kind of the worst misrepresentation that we can do. And so the enemy's trying to get that glory from that image is also just trying to poison what God had done divinely by making us in his image.
Exactly, bro. That's exactly it. That's it. And people will hear those words and not understand them. But that is it. Like if you are not for, you are against. Period. Jesus wasn't playing around. It really is. So we've heard all the nasty stuff. I do want to glorify.
No, there's one more part
Yeah,
that I did not hear you talk about, where you were talking about they wanted to feel and taste and hear.
Oh, bro, I'm glad you brought that up. That's so important. Okay. They're nobodies. So we're somebody. They're nobodies. They've been fallen from grace. They've fallen from the kingdom. They've fallen from the body they had, some spiritual form of a body in heaven. They used to be exalted, powerful angels in heaven. They're now nobodies. They don't have a body. So I'm glad you brought this up. This is very important. So when I was demonically possessed and I'm having sex with them or I'm eating and stuff, right? They would get to the point where I would eat some chocolate and I'd hear all the demons and see, they'd be standing in the living room. They'd be in my head, just a mix of both those things, right? And they'd be like, we can't taste it. We don't have a body. Give us permission. Let us taste it, please. And they'd just start begging me, dude. And to the point of where I'd be like, okay, yes, you guys can taste it. Praise God, dude. We all get to taste together. Dude, by this point, I was so out of my mind that I wasn't even asking questions no more. You know what I'm saying? It was just, they believe you things. When you get this demon in you, they can just start telling you what you believe and you just believe it, dude. Yeah. So, Saint, you can imagine where that went. So sexually, they would get me to the point of climax where like, you want it really bad. And they say, not unless you let us do it with you. Not unless you let us feel with you. I had to like beg them. It wasn't good enough for me to just say, yeah, you guys can. They had to wait for me to get to that point and then go, yes, just feel it with me. It was about begging them to come further into me as deeply as I could. It just wasn't enough to just say, yeah, come on in. It was about needing them to come in, dude. And, another thing they described to me was the Nephilim. So again, by this point, I was just so out of my mind. So how does something without a body get something with a body pregnant? So you know what the Nephilim are, right? They were the giants. They were the heroes of old. The sons of God, the angels came down and fornicated with women, right? It's a very terrible thing. It's a spirit of pedophilia, dude, because something of a higher knowledge takes advantage of something with less knowledge. It's pure pedophilia. That's what people don't see. You don't realize how wise these spirits are. They see so much more than we are. The way God has described it to me is he's like, it would have been great if it was like a 40-year-old man seducing a 2-year-old girl with a lollipop. He's like, it is so much worse than that, what they did to you and what they're doing to everybody and what they did to these women back in the Genesis days. So much worse. Because imagine having so much knowledge, knowing exactly what to say to someone to trick them into wanting them and then doing it. And just, they did that, right? So true pedophilia, bro. But anyways, they explained to me that if I was willing to let them in deep enough, if I continued to like have sex with them and do these, it's a defilement. If I continued to completely defile myself, continue to hurt my wife, continue to hurt my kids, continue to put everything before God, continue to worship myself as the devil or of Jesus, right? Of the coming Christ. They called me the third Adam. And another thing they like to do is call you 144. They feather you with that. They say you're one of the 144,000. That's totally an attack from the enemy. I don't believe the 144 are going to know who they are until the time is needed. But anyways, so they said, if you let us use you, if you're like defiled enough, I'm quoting, or not quoting, I'm just telling you what they were initially saying. And if you let us use your body, we can birth like a Christ through you. And they were, without saying it, they were trying to get me to use my body so that they could possibly birth a Nephilim, bro. They were really, and so the way that it's been described to me now, the Lord has described it to me, is he said, you know how the Father, who is holy and righteous and perfect and undefiled and so loving and only ever wants what's best for you, put his spirit into Mary. She was undefiled. She never had sex with man. It's not this weird thing where God had sex with Mary. It's not. It was powerfully made, wonderfully cared for, right? She was not defiled.
Yes.
And then the Spirit of God comes into this man in his birth.
Yes.
Through a virgin.
Yes.
The devil does it equally opposite or worse. Like it's the defilement of taking a demonic spirit, having someone so sexually abused and defiled and traumatized, okay, giving their free will of their reproductive organs over to a spirit. It takes two people to agree to this. You can't just get some woman pregnant. You can't do it. And when this baby is born, it will never be redeemable. It does not have the mind of a baby. It truly is a conscious devil who is like, okay, now let's deceive the world. Seriously, bro. And I know that's a lot to take in. I know people are going, I don't know what to tell you. I was demonically possessed, and this is what they were trying to get me to do. And I'm like, why would you be trying to get me to do it if like they didn't hopefully see a chance of it happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, and this was every day, constantly. There was I can't say the women's names, but there was a couple women specifically that they thought they might be able to do this with, convinced to do this. And so like they were constantly having me go after these girls. But
And what was the thing about them having you go after married women?
well, obviously, it wanted to like own them. And the way that I can describe this antichrist spirit is it wouldn't let me leave the mall unless it like knew every girl in the store and it knew that it could get them. It needed to know that they were it. It was like, you guys can date these men, you can marry these men, just as long as I know that anytime I can show up and you have a fight on the wrong night, I can take you, I can take your wife. That was the mentality of this thing. Responsibility. I can't face God and blame the devil. I won't do it. Jesus died on the cross and forgave me of my sins, right? So, that was the main thing. The wisdom it would give me to do this. Sometimes I knew that if I like saw a beautiful couple, very beautiful, you could tell they go to the gym together, big dude, beautiful woman, and they'd be like out eating lunch on like a patio.